How's it going? Welcome to Critical Author. Today, I'm going to be showing you the brain-rotting games that I've been playing, or at least, that's what some people would say. I highly disagree. The books I've been reading, not specifically this book, but it's a book that's just kind of, here, what I've been listening to, because I also do audio books, what I've been watching, because, anime, TV series, horror-like. Let's do it. How's it going, people? It's like 35 minutes past midnight. Editing me realized after I made my video that I forgot to talk about what I'm playing on Steam, old PC. That currently is No Man's Sky. I've been messing around with the update that's just been released. There's a new expedition I gotta try out. I haven't started it just because the No Man's Sky expeditions, I think, are way overrated. They're just one giant fetch quest and pointless minuscule thing that you can also do in the regular gameplay. It's the only difference is that you're kind of like being forced to do it in order to get a reward. And I think that's the biggest flaw of the No Man's Sky expedition. So that's what I'm playing on PC. But DS, it's been a while since I played Fantasy Life by Level 5 Games. Level 5 Games is one of my personal favorite smaller developing companies. I'm not really going to call them indie. They might be labeled that, but I doubt it. They've had really successful games like Professor Layton, Dark Cloud 2. That's what I mostly know them for, as well as Neo no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. They also did the sequel to Neo no Kuni number 2. That's not the exact name of it, and I probably should know it, especially seeing as how there's a collector box over there for that game right there, okay? So, but we're just gonna move on. So yeah, Fantasy Life, it's kind of like this mixture combination of taking RPG elements, leveling up, fighting monsters, and adding in farming and stuff like that. Though farming, I should say, is not 100% accurate. Like, there is that in it, but that's part of a job system and you have to be a part of that job in order to do it, that kind of thing. So it kind of utilizes different job systems. Level 5, ironically, I've never actually played all the way through it, so that'll be something. For the PS3, we got Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition. Now, this is the one that I've actually been playing through, probably the most dedicated right now. Out of the games I'm going to show you, if I were to beat any of these, first, it's probably going to be this one. I just, been so long, like the first time I had to rebuy this, $17 on eBay. Put that in, and just the iconic sound and, the bullets shooting the Rockstar logos. Yes. Classic stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen, all right? On the PlayStation 2, we got Dark Cloud 2. I've actually played through this, but there is like a mine, I guess you could say, near the end after you beat the game, like in post-game content, if you will. And it's like 100... I think it's like 100 dungeons that you have to beat through. The monsters are harder. The final boss in this 100 dungeon thing is like the first boss from the first game. So that's the one thing I haven't done in this game. I have beaten this game. I've beaten this game. Just replaying them because it's literally been motherfucking years. Okay, so for the 360, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be jumping into Blue Dragon. Now, ironically, this is a game that I have played. I did like, never actually took the time to beat it. That stipulation, that idiotic thing of a new game comes out, so I started playing that. And then sometimes I would go back to play this, but then the same thing would happen over and over again. So, yeah, dedication, 4-game disc on the old Xbox 360. Akira's art style, Dragon Ball Z style art in here. So, this will be a good game to actually go through and actually beat. Next up, we got another level 5 game here, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't locate the game case, so we're doing it this way. Oh, yeah. Jean d'Arc, also by Level 5 Game. And this is actually an RPG tactics game. It's actually the first RPG tactics game I also ever played. I do own Final Fantasy Tactics. I've yet to actually play it. Ironically, I own that on the PlayStation, or a version of it on the PlayStation and the PSP. So this is the PSP 3000, just so we're all on the same page. And it's not modded or anything, because I'm too lazy to do that kind of shit, all right? Anyway, I decided to break out the old Game Boy Boy Advance SP. And I was like, I'm going to start this game as well, just because I owned it and I've never played it. I enjoy the anime, which ironically, let's jump into that real quick. What am I watching? I'm also watching the anime to Yu Yu Hakusho. So this is the Game Boy Advance game that I've owned in the box. So I'm going to pop this in my Game Boy Advance, and I'm going to play through this bad boy right here. SP specifically. I like the SP better than the Advance. I don't know. Call me weird, but I don't know. I like the design aesthetic. I like the whole flippy thingy. I don't know. It's weird. All right. Well, what can I say? I really can't 100% explain why I enjoyed it, but I liked it better than the Advance. So yeah, here we have Yu Yu Hakusho, Spirit Detective, Ghost Files, and I've actually never even put this in. I do know it works. Like, I put it in and I made sure that it actually works, runs, but I've never actually played through it. Now, speaking of the anime, because I said that's something that I'm watching, I've never actually completed the anime. I started it back in the day. I forget exactly when. I'll do a video to some kind of effect there. But yeah, I am currently on the Dark Tournament, and I've actually never seen anything past the Dark Tournament. So that kind of iterates that one for you. Now, the next thing that I'm watching here, ladies and gentlemen, because ironically we never watched this, because apparently this was on HBO, so my parents wouldn't subscribe to HBO back in the day, because it probably was more expensive than $15, but don't quote me on that, because I don't know. And that is Tales from the Crypt, ladies and gentlemen. At least I know HBO is the one that did it, because that's the logo that appears. So, the entire collection, I bought this not too long ago. I have watched the entire first season of it, and I must tell you, not 100% impressed. Definitely not scary in any facet that thereof. Some of their stories, and this could just be me as a writer, looking at it and be like, I'm not saying I would have made it scarier, but it's like, I'm not really sure what they were attempting with this story, because, like, I could have been a toddler, and this is worse than a Goosebump book, and Goosebump books aren't that scary, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's just, one man's opinion on this here right here. Now, in terms of what I have been reading. So with any creative art, it's all about continuing to learn and, of course, practice what it is that you want to do. So, we want to be a writer of novels. Maybe one day I write a screenplay for a movie. Who really knows? But my nonfiction book I've been reading is How to Grow a Novel, the most common mistakes writers make and how to overcome them, by Sol Stein. Now, he actually has another book that ironically I do own, which, let's see, do they show it anywhere in here? Which I do own. It's Stein on Writing. Now, I own this particular one both in audio and physical form. I have listened to the audio book of it. It's not in this video because, well, I finished that audiobook. Okay, so I got on, what was it? Television? Netflix? Something. I got on something. And, well, I felt the greater need to watch I Am Legend, which of course then made me want to read the book, because I've never read the book I Am Legend. Now, the irony of this particular the movie is, when I first saw it, I assumed it was some kind of offset generic zombie flick, because that's what I took away from. But according to the book, they're actually vampires. So it's like an infection that came out, and instead of turning people into zombies, it turned them into this vampire-like creature. Now, they don't really ever mention that in the film, but apparently it's pretty known that they're actually vampires in the book. Minor spoilers, like, you can only really kill them, like, stabbing-wise with a wooden stake. I thought that was pretty stupid, really. I mean, I think the movie kind of did this a little bit better, that they could just be killed, and the sensitivity to light was a thing because vampires. But I felt the fact that they just added too many of the as you can see, I haven't really went that far in the book. Okay, I think I'm about to start chapter 3. Okay, so still some ways. Most of my judgment is from what I know the differences between the movie and the book. How's it going again? Editing critical author here, because I realized I had a thought and then I just got distracted, started talking about something else, and then that thought completely left my brain. So what the point I was attempting to make there is that I felt that in the book, so far adding all of the weaknesses to the vampires, I felt was kind of cliche, you know, because it's supposed to be a virus. So this isn't like they exist like in Blade or The Lost Boys. This is a virus. So why can they only be stabbed with a wooden stake? That makes no sense to me. Like I've been told, I've heard from reviews that it gets explained scientifically why some of these things exist. So my thinking could change later on. But as of right now, I feel that the movie handled it a little bit better. Like by not adding in all of the quote unquote vampire mythical weaknesses. And I'm also aware that there's ironically 2 other movies that came out before I Am Legend, which just goes to show you that everyone's way of thinking that remakes is something new. No, Hollywood's been lazy since they started. Let's be real. Let's be real, okay? Now, the next thing, I got to open up my phone to show you. So I have been not reading, but I've been listening to Stephen King's Fairy Tale. Now, I'm actually almost done with this book. I think I have... Oh, okay. Yeah, I have 6 hours and 17 minutes left in this Stephen King book right here. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, and of course, what I'm playing. I hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. And remember, viewers, if you're not voicing your thoughts and concerns about the bullshit in entertainment, you know, microtransactions, loot boxes, video games respectively, and well, a lot of assortment of stuff happening in movies and films and even comic books, you just might be a part of the motherfucking problem.